we're going to look at is talking about bearings. So this is going to be having to do with word problems involving, let's say we were driving a boat and going in specific directions. So if you ever hear a bearing of north, we're going to consider that we're going to start going always, when we're talking about bearings, we'll always start at due north. And then if we go, let's say 90 degrees, we're always going to start at north and work our way clockwise to the east, and that will be 90 degrees would be due east. And again, we'll start out always with bearings due north, and if we go 180 degrees, that would be flipping us to going due south in that direction. So that would be flipping us to going due south. If they tell us to go 270 degrees on a bearing, we always again start at north and then work our way around clockwise, and 270 degrees would have us going due west. And so the way that I remember this with bearings is we always start out with due north. Usually that they're going to tell us though, mainly we'll start out with due north. Sometimes we'll start out with due south. If you're one of those people that has trouble remembering in what order, I always start up at the top with north. And there's a way to remember this in what order it goes. It's never, eat, soggy, waffles. And I learned this when I was little, and I loved it, and I still remember it. So we've got never. The N in never tells you you're starting out with north, working your way clockwise. The next one is eat, so east. Then S is soggy for south, and then working your way around to waffles, working your way around clockwise. I know with angles we're used to going counterclockwise because that's how you do them in a math setting, but in a real life setting using bearings, we are always working our way clockwise. We kind of have to worry that when we're dealing with bearings, it's more like real life, what normal people would do, not necessarily math people. So let's take a look at a couple examples just on how to sketch problems involving bearings. So on this first one, it tells us where to start, that we're going to start out from the north direction. So we're going to start out from north, and we're going to head, let's see, what did they say, 30 degrees. 30 degrees which way? Well, that's what they tell us second on this first one, is that they are telling us that we're going to head towards the west direction. So we're going to head 30 degrees from the north towards the west. So we're going to head towards the west from the north 30 degrees. And then that would be our angle here that we've created. That's your north 30 degrees west. So you start out with your north and head towards the west 30 degrees from the north. Let's try another one. In B, it says to start this time from the south direction, and that we're going to head 21 degrees, but this time we're going to head towards the east. So we are going to head 21 degrees from the south towards the east. And then that will be our angle, is this south 21 degrees east. So we start with the south, head 21 degrees towards the east. Continuing along, another way to do bearings is to have just an angle. And if you're given a bearing that just has an angle, it means you're going to be starting from the north position. That will be your default. So you'd start from your north position and just like before, head, be careful, clockwise to whatever your angle is, whether in this first example it was 26 or starting from north, let's say this next one was 147, so a little bit more than a 90 degree angle. And again, starting from north, an angle of 243 would be a little bit bigger than 180 degrees. So that's kind of the idea. If they give you a bearing, but they don't tell you any kind of directions, it means they're assuming that you're starting from the north. So if you take a look at this first example, they say sketch a bearing of 120 degrees, which means starting from the north, you're going to make your 120 degree angle, which means bigger than 90. So we're going to go past east all the way over to a little bit bigger than 90, which is 120 degrees. And there would be your angle with the bearing of 120 degrees. If you look at problem B, we've got a bearing of 200 degrees. So we'd start in the north position and work our way past the 90, past the 180, a little bit past 180 to get to 200 degrees. And that